Hello, this is Anjana Meenakshi for the News Minute. Today we are in Vizag, the beach town of Andhra Pradesh, and we're trying to get a sense of what young people feel about this election. And we wanted to get the pulse of what young people are talking about, what matters to them. I'm here with my colleague Bala, and we just are trying to ask young people some simple questions, some basic questions to understand what are the issues which matter to them and what are the factors they're going to take into consideration when they cast their vote.
So in this election, we are primarily going to talk about the Lok Sabha election and the alliances. The main alliances which we have are the NDA alliance and the India alliance. So I want to ask Sai. He's here. He's a student. So Sai, what do you think of this election? Where do you think that what do you make of this election?
According to me, majority of the new voters might play key role because their aspirations are not well met in the past few years is my understanding. The manifesto points which both the alliances are mentioning, it plays a huge role, and the message which they are taking to the youth, the narratives and maybe the messaging which is my perspective.
Okay. And Sanjana, you also had an opinion about what youngsters will likely vote for in this election. What do you think?
Okay, so I think mainly youngsters. Okay, there's one fear that I have today about youngsters in Andhra Pradesh. It is about their dependency with regard to welfare schemes. I hope this does not happen because we have seen it now that the rural is enough dependent in terms of welfare schemes and benefits. So for the youth, I've been working with the youth for a while now, with colleges, with students, and what I see is they look for someone who empowers them, someone who makes them understand what's actually going on, focus on skill development, creating job opportunities, helping them establish small scale businesses, medium level businesses. If you're talking about MSMEs today, there's not much that the Andhra Pradesh government has done for the youth of Andhra in the last 5 years in terms of establishing small scale businesses. And this is a very, I really fear the state of the youth and the future of the youth of Andhra. And I really speak for them today.
So does everyone concur with that idea, or is there any contradictory opinion to that?
Hello. So I think we are more looking for a job, so the youth wants jobs. We don't want to depend on freebies. Is very, it's actually right. So we don't want to depend on freebies. We want people to earn because because they don't. Sorry, because we want people to work. We want a government who can actually create jobs rather than just sitting at home and enjoying the freebies which the government has already been going on giving and giving and giving. That's one thing which I agree on with her.
Right. So there seems to be a general concurrence that welfare measure is not something young people are looking for, which then begs the second question, right? What is something you're looking for? Right? Sanjana spoke about empowerment, and how would you define empowerment in that sense when you take into consideration how you vote? Krishna, would you like to say something?
Yes. So it would be great if they start, inviting more collaborations, like how Telangana has T Hub. They could start something like that and create opportunities. Give the youth, the ability and the assets to themselves be entrepreneurs, not just jobs, not just vacancies. Like today, whenever we speak about internships or jobs, we just look for okay. We just look to go to Hyderabad or Bangalore. Maybe 5 years, 10 years down the line, I hope that there's a place in Andhra Pradesh too. There's a city in Andhra Pradesh too where we can actually find good opportunities.
All right. And aside from jobs and welfare, like this is how the election has primarily panned out. It's either a welfare led discussion or it's a development led discussion, because that's how YSRCP and TDP have positioned themselves. But there are other things to take into consideration when people vote. Like as young women, I want to ask both of you, are there any gender related aspects which you are taking into consideration when you vote? Would you like to say something, Geetika?
Yeah, sure. Actually, coming to a gender point of view, there are certain schemes that are allotted for women, and they are trying to give vacancies to girls, promoting women empowerment. But still, it's not just preparing schemes and putting out schemes. It's also the implementation, how far it's going, and how well it's being implemented, and people are getting out of it. So I think it would be better if they focus more on implementation and how it's taking place.
I think I want to ask one question about the two major parties which are fighting out this election. One is the Congress party, which is part of the India alliance, and the other one is the BJP alliance. And we had the BJP government for the 10 years now, and there's a party which is, the Congress's main agenda is they are fighting for the secular values of this country and the constitution. What do you think about the BJP's governance in this 10 years, and what do you make about the Congress's India alliance?
According to me, Congress has not put forward like their own agenda in a very proper way. So the messaging which they want to give to the people is not very clear. In contrast to that, BJP has very managed very well to make sure what they did, the development aspect, and they projected it in a very good way. It's a different question: did they meet the constitutional values, or did they approve of it, or did they do it for did they did it for everyone? Like, my understanding is the India alliance, which has now come up and is fighting for the secular values, could have done it in a much better way. But the BJP's game plan, or the election agenda, the strategy, it worked well because they have played it on their own positives, and they have completely attacked the uh, India alliance in a very strong way.
So you're saying that it is all about the BJP having a better strategy than the India alliance. What do you have to say about these alliances?
Hello, my name is Sanket. So if you're looking at the both alliances, NDA alliance and the India alliances. So NDA, so past 10 years, BJP done have some good works related to infrastructure development, more focusing on infrastructure development, roads network, rail networks. But if you look at the other part of the employment generation or job creation, so where is when the prime minister or leaders from the ruling party are promising to youth कि we will create a 2 crore jobs in a per year, but what facts are telling us? So what are the actual investment we are getting from the outside from the country, as in form of FDI, in form of foreign direct investment, what institutional? Now second point is the freedom or institutional's independence. So these are the core issues we are looking at when, and the perception, yeah, BJP good at the perception making. The BJP is very good at the message conveying for the people. Another side, if you look at the India alliance, there is a main problem: who is taking the main charge of leadership? If you are coming with, yeah, it's good to 10 people, 10 parties coming together fighting against the their opposition, but people's always wants to look at the who is leading the party, who is leading the alliance, who will we see the next leader who can fulfill our all the demands. If you look at the Congress, India alliances Congress manifesto, it's good that they are now talking about the nyay guarantee, न्याय guarantee, Mahila Nari Shakti. They are talking about how they will ensure the institutional independence. But is it really they are this message taking towards to normal people? Because there is, in today's country, if we are saying there is another side is a religious polarization, and there is another side is a secular values we are talking about. So it's a big issue to understanding normal people. And according to youth, so we all are sitting here, we are youth, it's a 21st century, and if we are looking out, we are looking not comparing to Pakistan's or another. We have to compare, as an India we have to compare with the USA, with the developed economics, with the China, what China is doing. So today is what is the China is doing. We have to look at how we will beat them in a technology. How we will beat them in a new innovations. Semiconductor we are speaking about. Where is the USA is standing in semiconductor? Where is China and where is we are standing? So we have to focus on these issues. And one of the last points. This is the MP election. Youth should also aware about the we are casting our vote to MP. So what is MP's role and responsibility? What is MLA's role and responsibility? If you are not aware about this leader is going to, then how will know ki this leader will be raise our issue in parliament? So MP's what main responsibility to bridge between center and state. So MP should. So if I am going to cast my vote, for example, why?
I think, the alliance is at this point of time was a brilliant act by all the three parties coming forward to do, putting aside their party agendas for the state of Andhra Pradesh. That's how I look at this alliance. And that way, personally, I strongly stand for the alliance.
I think now that it's become a very intense kind of discussion, I think we can ask something about Andhra Pradesh, and one part of it is the election campaign is thoroughly survived here mostly by songs. So I think Krishna had a lot to say about the songs and its impact on the voters. Could you please share that?
Well, it's good marketing strategies. I mean, that's I think in the last election.
Which is the song which you liked?
This time.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, they're all pretty good, but we'll have to wait for the remixes to see which ones are actually good.
Has there been a situation where you have really liked a song but not like the party? You don't have to get into specifics, but has that happened?
Yes. I mean, last elections, everybody liked the songs, nobody liked the party.
I think music is a huge connecting factor.
Yeah. I think Revant also has something to add.
Yeah, so as we just saw that songs is a major factor to just connect with the audience. And as you told, if there's a part which I don't like, but a song which I like is the current chief minister's song. I mean, we can relate to it. I listen to it every day, in the morning, in the evening, in the night, every day. But I don't want it. But I still listen to it, and now it's in my mind.
Now that's what we were expecting out of this.
Yes, that happens. I go on the roads, I listen to it. I am sleeping, I listen to it. In my dreams, it's coming onto it. So, I mean, they have found a way to actually connect to the youth.
Yeah.
As even he was talking, that the India Alliance is not able to connect to the youth. And BJP connects to everybody, to all the age, audiences. But what Congress lacks is they are not able to connect to the youth. They are not able to bring out the positives. They only try to get the negatives out of the opposition. BJP is doing both. I mean, and that's their strategy, and that's wonderful. And that's what people are buying, is what I also feel.
Right. So, are there advertisements you guys are looking? Because he spoke about songs. I'll just take it one step further, because I think every time I'm trying to watch a Telugu news clipping from Andhra Pradesh Wala, there is one advertisement or the other which is extremely moving, sometimes not completely truthful, but it's really interesting. I think both the parties have very, very cinematic, very it's funny, it's moving, it's all of that. Have any of you watched any of these advertisements, which I'm talking about?
Yeah, they definitely added, if you want to see a video on YouTube, or I'm really into music, so every time I have to play a song, there is a ad or a very cinematic clipping coming. I think that it's some trailer or something of some movie, but there it goes. After the 5-second or 10-second gap, they go to the party and they go with the song, theme, everything happens. And oh, this is an ad. Okay, this is promoting. You can't even skip the ad for certain time. So it's really, you can't.
Yeah, it's really interesting. And I don't think any other state has a filmmaker. You guys have Ram Gopal Verma. You guys have a filmmaker for your state itself. So
The production values, definitely went over by. I think right from 2019 we have been seeing, in terms of music, in terms of ad making, political parties have been able to bring in huge people, and I think it's also getting dangerous in a certain way, because we don't know where this is going. This is also getting dangerous, and we see politicians dancing today to tunes. So this is a very different notion, and you don't see this in a lot of other countries, as far as I know. We only see this in India, politicians dancing to music and things like that, and people actually rallying up to, and they enjoy the whole thing. People like the energy of the election, and I think this election is momentous, and the youth of Andhra are going to witness something huge this time.
Okay, all right. So we'll quickly wrap it up.
But before we have to ask the inevitable question, because all of them are youngsters who are about to vote. How do you think the civil discourse in Andhra Pradesh has changed? Because we have seen leaders making personal comments about each other's lives. How do you think? What do you think of this?
Actually, like according to me, people should fight on the issues and people should fight on the manifesto points or the policy. According to me, fighting or debating on the policy should be the key aspect of any politician or any leader in any state, not just Andhra Pradesh. But in Andhra Pradesh, we got to see in assembly leaders directly commenting on the personal life of the leader and humiliating them, and they actually gave an example of a wrong example of how not to conduct an assembly, which created a huge outrage in majority of the youth, because humiliating a person's family does not win the agenda or the point. So that might be an issue. So according to me, the personal comments actually impacted negatively, and that should not be the case in the coming future, is what I feel.
In that vein, I just have a quick follow up. Do you think because the language is so abusive and because of how it is being projected in the media, and it's also engaging, right? It's one of the things which draws in a lot of people. Is that the one reason you can think of people are supporting or not supporting? Does it come across as cool for a leader to come across as brash, just saying words, just abusing? Is that one of the reasons leaders have following or not following? What do you guys think?
I think I'd agree to the point where you said, yes, it does bring a lot of unnecessary attention. Even someone who does not care who their MP is, MLA is, will go and watch that video as to what they said at that point of time. So yes, that I agree to. But there's also another side of it. There is no punishment. I mean, there is no one to condemn the words that they said. There is no one going against them, and there are no charges being filed against them. So this maybe should change. Only when action is taken against them, whoever is behaving in this sort of way, things will change. And I hope things change, because we don't want politics to be a dirty segment. I think that should change.
All right. In that vein, I have to ask all of you one thing. The Prime Minister, I think a week or a little over a week ago, made comments about and likened Muslims in this country to infiltrators, right? And that became a major topic of discussion. So I'm asking this because, like Bala had mentioned earlier, this is a Lok Sabha election. Did any of you see that speech, and what are the opinions you have about it? Is that something which disturbed you? Is that something you thought was understandable given the context? How do you feel about it?
Yeah, I saw that video. I go through that speech, and it's very disheartening कि higher order of the constitutional post are saying these words in open public rally, because it's a country and every citizen has an equal rights. It's not a secondary citizen of this country. They are not a secondary citizen. We all are one. We are firstly and lastly Indians. It's our constitution saying. So it's very wrong thought or wrong perception giving to people, Prime Minister giving to people that they are infiltrators or it's not needed, and it's not a right thing to talk about. So it's really, and as a youth, I personally don't want to see my country in religious polarization, caste polarization. Instead, we should talking about the development agenda. It's greater opportunity for youth also to looking forward to development initiatives.
Well, I agree, and as a first-time voter, at least in my generation, people don't really see religion anymore, and I want the MP we elect to actually represent those values.
I think it is heartening to see there's a common consensus that elections should be fought on based on your performance, or not on religious rhetoric. Anjana?
Yeah, it is. It is. I mean, they were all clear about. In fact, I don't think I have seen such a unified agreement among different young people. It's mostly been, most of the town hall debates we've held have been heavily polarized, and there have been fights. But it's quite clear where all of them stand, and it's also because Andhra Pradesh has a unique finds itself in a unique position which most other states don't. So it is here that Bala and I invite you to consider subscribing to the News Minute News Laundry Joint Election Fund, because Andhra Pradesh hasn't been covered well for the most part, and we are reporters on the ground, and we're trying to bring you news which matters to you. And especially after the bifurcation of the Telugu states, things have changed immensely. So if you do like our coverage, and if you do think we have valuable things to say, please consider subscribing to us, because our aim is to make sure that every single issue they brought up is presented before you. Thank you for watching.
Thanks a lot.
This election season, your right to choose puts you at the heart of it again.
We'd like to be your eyes and ears.
Choose the journalism and media that serves democracy and you.
Simply head on to newslaundry.com/subscription and pick up the TNMNL joint subscription of your choice today.